You ever seen a marina queen melt down in broad daylight? I mean, really lose it, shouting across the water like the fate of the free world depends on your sailboat joining her imaginary HOA. Yeah, that happened to me on a Saturday morning at Serenity Lake Marina. Picture this: 200 boat owners freezing mid-task coffee halfway to their lips, every conversation dying as Marisol Blackthorn's voice blasts across the docks. "You pathetic excuse for a boat owner. Join my HOA or I'll destroy you. I'll have your slip revoked, your boat impounded, and you'll never dock in this marina again." All that fury wrapped up in a hot pink blazer and a hairdo that probably cost more than my outboard motor. You can't make this stuff up. Now let me paint you the scene. Marisol's standing center stage, sun blazing off her platinum blonde blowout finger, stabbing the air like she's prosecuting a capital case on Bravo. Behind her, 3 Marine Patrol officers shift awkwardly, clearly wishing they'd called in sick. Every slip owner is lining up on the fingers, some filming, some just shaking their heads. You could taste the diesel and salt, but mostly you could feel the tension. It was like everyone was waiting for the sky to split open, or at least for me to snap. But here's the kicker: while Marisol is busy channeling her inner dictator, I'm just standing on my own dock, mug of coffee in hand, 42-foot swan behind me, name in gold letters: whistleblower. That's right, my boat's got a sense of irony, what Marisol didn't know. I had a folded piece of paper in my back pocket that would turn her whole world upside down, give it 3 minutes. One of the patrol officers tried to break up the circus. "Ma'am, we can't arrest someone for not joining an HOA. That's not how the law works." But Marisol, she whips around, heels clicking like pistol shots. "Officer Martinez, this man is violating marina regulations. He's a threat to our community standards. His boat doesn't comply with our aesthetic guidelines." I nearly snorted coffee out my nose. This is the same woman who tried to shut down the marina store last month for putting up a new awning without her royal blessing. So I took out my phone, scrolled to my lawyer's number, and put the call on speaker for all to hear. "Good morning, Harrison. Would you please inform Ms. Blackthorn about the change in her marina access status?" Harrison's voice was ice cold. "Ms. Blackthorn, your marina access privileges have been permanently revoked. Security will escort you from the premises. Any attempt to return will be considered criminal trespass." Dead silence. Marisol turned sheet-white mouth working, but not a sound. For once in 3 years, the Queen had nothing to say. Now I know what you're thinking. How does someone even get into this kind of mess? How does a former corporate whistleblower end up in a lakeside HOA showdown? Pull up a chair. Let me back up a sec. 6 months earlier, I was the guy who exposed my CEO for laundering $40 million through offshore accounts. The feds loved me. The SEC wanted a photo op, and my reward was $8.7 million. And a polite assurance I'd never work in corporate America again. Some people might take that as a threat. For me, it was freedom. No more burnt coffee conference rooms, no more fake smiles. I went searching for a new life and stumbled across a government auction listing for Serenity Lake Marina, 120 slips, fuel dock marine store, the works. The previous owner skipped town after some tax misunderstandings. Let's just say you can't run a luxury marina at a loss while buying a jet and expect the IRS not to notice. But what really caught my eye wasn't the docks or the store. It was a single line buried in the fine print Lakeside Marina Association Charter, established 1952, currently dormant. Most people would skip right past that. But I've spent years finding gold in the margins. I snapped up the whole marina for $312,000, no haggling, no questions. The auctioneer didn't know I'd have paid 10 times that for what was really in that file cabinet, the original charter, untouched, gathering dust and coffee stains in the back office. See, this charter gave the president me as master leaseholder control over every slip, every fee, every rule. The old board had died off 20 years ago, but the authority had never lapsed. So while Marisol was out there playing queen with her homemade HOA, the real legal scepter was sitting in my hands. First month, I lay low, listening, learning. Fishermen out before dawn sailing nuts, arguing routes mid-morning, families swimming and grilling by afternoon. But every single day at 8:15, here comes Marisol in her white Range Rover Marina Boss plates gleaming. Never mind, she didn't own a slip or hold any real position. She'd crowned herself president of the Serenity Marina Homeowners Association, an organization so fictional it'd get you sued on Netflix. She bullied, fined, threatened, and collected $400 a month from every slip holder too tired or scared to push back. Dress codes, yoga hours, flag restrictions, even a premium fuel blacklist. She was running a racket, not a community. The fuel dock manager, Robert Saint of a man, ignored her but took hell for it. Families tiptoed around. The old-timers grumbled. Everyone felt trapped. I watched, I documented, and I waited for her to overreach. And boy did she. She cornered me on my dock iPad, clutched like a shield, chirping about non-compliance and a $2 $400 bill. She even threatened me with consequences if I didn't play along, hinted the last guy's boat got vandalized. Thing is, I was recording the whole conversation legally. After she walked away, I called my lawyer, the state attorney general's office, and an old friend in forensic accounting. I was done playing nice. That night, I gathered allies: Teddy the Navy vet, who'd seen it all; Bryce and Astrid Montgomery, who'd had their dock box measured with a color meter, who owns a color meter; and Maverick, the ex-detective with an eye for the dirt under the rug. Turns out Marisol's game was even nastier: phony fines, embezzlement, weird wire transfers, maybe even laundering for someone called Mr. K. We started building a file. People who'd been too beaten down to resist found their backbone again. Then came the fun part. The next morning, I get a visit from Code Enforcement. Marisol's filed a complaint about illegal dock modifications. Officer Thompson, bless him, rolls his eyes. "You got anything official?" "Nope. Just HOA standards that don't exist." He leaves after a cup of coffee, promising to write up my slip as perfectly compliant and privately thanking me for making his job easier. But Marisol, now she's got security-rented polo shirts following my boat with a chase boat like we're in a Bond film, taping orange violation notices to my dock for unauthorized departures. The absurdity was almost impressive. But while she's ramping up the harassment, my allies are turning up gold. The marina's original charter doesn't just control slips, it controls waterfront access, land parking, water rights, the whole shebang. And every dime, Marisol's been skimming off the fuel dock. Robert's got notebooks, receipts, even secret audio. 60 grand just from his dock alone. Then Marisol makes her last worst mistake. She chains my boat to the dock and slaps a sick $400 impound fine on me. I call 911. Marine Patrol shows up, Officer Martinez. My new favorite person writes up the whole thing as illegal restraint and tells Marisol flat out, "There's no such thing as marina law, and you're committing fraud." Marisol's still bluffing, threatening to evict me, claiming a board vote. But the crowd's had enough. Teddy shouts, "What board?" The Montgomerys back him up. I pull out my ace call, my lawyer Harrison, who's already waiting with the charter in hand. In front of the whole marina, Harrison lays it out. The real Lakeside Marina Association never dissolved, and as owner, I'm president. I show the crowd the evidence: 3 years of fraud, extortion, almost $500,000 stolen. People erupt. Marisol tries to flee, but her path's blocked. Her phone rings, Godfather ringtone, no joke, and she goes from red to gray in seconds. The voice on the other end, Mr. K, a.k.a. Konstantin Volkov, a name that makes FBI agents sweat. Turns out the HOA was just a front for laundering dirty money, part of a multi-state operation. I offer Marisol a deal: come clean, cooperate, maybe dodge prison. She panics, but Teddy's not having it. My lawyer hands her a trespass notice. Her reign is over. The FBI swoops in 20 minutes later, black SUVs and all. Marisol's led away in cuffs, pink blazer swapped for orange jumpsuit. Volkov's whole network collapses soon after. The FBI promises restitution for everyone, every illegal fee, every cent stolen. That night, the tiki bar throws a bash for the ages. Teddy gets elected president in a real vote. The Montgomerys take over the books. Maverick runs compliance. Me, I step down happy to just own my slip and watch sunrise over the lake. 6 months later, the marinas, full fuel docks, cheaper kids are laughing, and not a single person mentions an HOA. Marisol gets 18 years. Volkov gets life. Everyone gets their money back eventually. The security kid who chained my boat. He writes to apologize, says he's training to join the real Marine Patrol. Wants to be the kind of officer who stands up for people, not bullies them. So, let me ask you, if you were holding all the cards, would you crush your enemy in private or let them destroy themselves in public? Drop your answer in the comments. Ever tangled with a petty tyrant, HOA, or otherwise? I want to hear those stories. Hit like if justice gives you a good feeling. Share if you've ever paid a ridiculous fee just to keep the peace. And remember, respect isn't given by titles or threats. It's earned every day by how you treat your neighbors. Serenity Lake finally found its peace not because of any rule book, but because a community found its courage. The lake's calm again. The docks are busy. And somewhere out there, Marisol's probably still telling herself she did nothing wrong. But the rest of us, we're too busy living free.